Setting up I/O and getting sound. So this is going to talk about how we can set up an I/O and actually get sound to play out of Reaper, because it's actually not very intuitive. So if you get my project template, it'll look like this, and you can download it for free on the website. You'll notice I don't have the master channel because I just don't like seeing it all the time. But if you go to this channel strip over here and you right click and you go show master track, then your master track will show up. And how you see routing is this little button here. And if you press that, it'll show you what is being routed. And if you just delete what's ever just by default there, then you can start fresh. So if we select this add new hardware output and you selected your proper audio output and you select the audio output from options, preferences, and then if you go to device. So this is where you're setting your device. So if you set your device right, then it should show up in your routing properly. And so I have all my settings right here. Then all you have to do is select whatever your output is. So mine is the ADAT optical 1 and 2. And for me, this is 6-channel. So right here is where you can decide if you're surround, if you're stereo, whatever. So mine is 6-channel. And then here you select how you want this routed. So again, mine is a multi-channel source. So I do channels 1 through 6. And now you got sound now. So this is where you're setting all of the output settings. A lot of times if you're in surround, you can't just do it like I did it. And you have to have this very complicated, you have to actually map each channel to a different output. So for instance, how you would do that is you would select, your analog 1, and you're saying that this is a mono source, it's channel 1. And then you add another one and you do analog 2. And now this is your mono source and it's 2, and you go so on and so forth. The other nice thing to know is routing in general, how it works. It's all through that little routing button. And you can see this is a folder track. So this is a child to this. It's basically like this is going to an aux track. And you can see that by clicking this routing button, and you'll see that it is going to the parent track right here. It's clicked going to the parent track. So that means all this routing is going right here. And then this parent track, it's going to the master send. So this parent track is then going to this master send up here. Super simple and easy. And then we can see this is my default setup, but the video is going to the master send, the LFE is going to the master send, and then this instrument track is also going to the master send. So another interesting thing is how you set up input. So let's get rid of this master. We're done with you. So inputs are done with this little button down here. And this is where you can set your input. This is a MIDI instrument track. So I've set this up. I have it to MIDI. I have it all MIDI inputs. That's great. Then you have to set up this little speaker here that is the record monitoring. It's like input monitoring. So that has to be on. So select that on, and then you have to put it into record input. Now there's 2 settings for record input. You can right click and see what they are. I have record input. So this will actually record if you press record. But you can also go record and disable input monitoring only. So if I select that, if I press record, you'll see it does not record anything. But if I had it on the other setting, just record anything, now it's recording MIDI because it's a MIDI track. And then let's delete that. Yep. So I'm going to go back to just record monitoring so I can hear my instrument. And if I play my instrument, there you go. The instrument's playing right. But you do have to have it monitoring here, and you have to have this on record input. And same with just a normal track, like this video track, I want to monitor my Mac. So I have this set in this little thing here. My input is return 1 and 2, which is where my Mac is coming in. I have to have it monitoring, so this has to be on. And then I have to have the record input. And for this, I also want to disable and just have it monitor. And then if I play anything off of the Mac, it's coming in through the input. So you can also see all of this routing that I'm doing through View and then Routing Matrix. And you'll see I have my return 1 stereo, which is what you saw. And this is, so these are the inputs, this left side here, and these are the outputs. It looks confusing at first, so I don't like to do the input outputs through here because I just get confused. But sometimes it's easier for people to just view it this way. And you'll see my instrument track here is getting all of the MIDI inputs. So all the inputs are over on this left side, and then all the outputs are over on this right side. So that's sort of just a general overview of input-output and how to get sound in and out of Reaper.